Good afternoon, ladies and gents. How is it going? Today you're gonna get Abdul talking his mind off in one shot. So welcome to that insanity. Before recording this, I was just reading the news, and I don't know if you've heard anything in the news about the UAE currently, but specifically this week, our Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi specifically traveled to China, actually. And not to delve into politics here, but a lot of things went on, and one of them is actually a commitment to building a closer relation with China for the country of the UAE, which means, you know, so much things are determined by that relationship, right? One initiative that has been taken, I actually didn't verify it, but let's just say it's true, is that now what is the language in China? Anyway, the language in China, not Chinese, but the language in China is Mandarin. All right, there you go. Mandarin has been now put in the curriculum for kids studying in school, which is such a huge step away from, you know, so many normacy, let's say, things that we're used to. You know, we grew up basically knowing Arabic and English as a second language, and I can only imagine what it will be in like 5-10 years, you know, after all these kids grow up learning Chinese, which I guess will be their third language at this in this rate, right? Because you can't let go of English nowadays. Anyway, the implications of such a bilateral cooperation is huge. Again, another political big story that is happening all over the world is something called the Belt and Road Initiative. And this is basically a sort of a new age a Silk Road that will connect all the world together through trade, building easier infrastructure for that to happen. And China has taken the initiative, or China is actually the one, the people that put this, put this into like action and such plan. I mean, anyway, so the UAE very obviously is taking part in such, grand project, and we're investing in ports for things to be traded faster and easier, and allow for trade to even develop further within the coming decades. I actually did not want to talk about China at all. I did want to delve into another thing that is a little bit more of the global scale. I was just thinking a little bit back about how countries, talk about climate change, etc. And a couple of publications came out. A couple of publications came out recently that talked a little bit about how countries need to develop certain plans. Right, every country has to develop like a plan to move away from the current status quo to something like, climate-friendly economy, etc. And so the UAE basically took the initiative, like many countries around the world, to put a plan together and to, set specific goals for it to reach these goals. And two major things I really want to share with everyone, if you'd like to know, is a story, a dynamic between two main concepts. One of them is something called mitigation, and the other is called adaptation. And so these concepts really, fight together, basically, not fight together, but they go along the same line into helping the country reach the climate change goal or whatever, right? And if you're doing, only adaptation, but then you're not changing or you're not mitigating your your economy or whatever in order to adapt to a future that is less reliant on fossil fuels, etc., then you're not really achieving anything, right? Anyway, long story short, today I only wanted to talk about different like subjects that also like drive me to try to read and learn more about what really our country is doing in order to develop or promote development in the future. And so this is really inspiring, and I think and I hope if you're interested, you will also look into it as well, and decide to get that view of what are people doing, what are countries doing, because oftentimes it's all in the background and we don't really think about it as a general population. All right, guys, for today, I hope you enjoyed the day with Abdul. I'll let you go, and I'll see you tomorrow.